we're going to start this next drawing assignment, okay? So, 1 point perspective means that everything recedes to one single point. Before we can get to that point, let's talk about the horizon line. So every time that we look out into the world, there is a line, the horizon line, or sometimes it's called our line of sight, our eye level, okay? Eye level, horizon line, same thing, okay? Right now I'm looking out and there's an imaginary line that's dividing everything to above my eye level and below my eye level. And then of course there's also things that are on my eye level. Nowhere is this more apparent when you're standing out at the beach and you're looking out to the vast ocean and you see that line going all the way across the horizon. That represents the horizon line, of course, and it's also your eye level. So I'm going to just draw this and illustrate that right now. So I'm going to put my line, it can be up here, it can be down here. I'm just going to put it somewhere near the upper half. Okay? So this line, I'll draw it a little darker. This line represents my eye level, horizon line. So 1 point perspective is one point that rests on this line, just one. With our exercise, we're going to put ours right in the middle of the page, okay, for this assignment. 1 point. So let's say there's a box, right? Like this. And if it's sitting right on the eye level, directly on the eye level, right at the beginning, or right at the center, you notice this square, you only see one side of the square, the cube. If I put this below your eye level, right in the middle, now you see two sides. You see the top, and you see the face. If we put it above, same thing. You see the front, the face, you see the bottom of the box now. Okay? If we have this, and it's over to the side and to the bottom, now we see the top, we see the face. Sorry, let me move this a little bit further. You see a little bit of this side, you see the face, and you see the top. Same thing, anywhere I move it. Move it up here, gonna see the bottom, gonna see this side, gonna see the face. That's what we're going to be replicating in our drawing. So, with perspective, it's a set of rules that give the whole drawing the perception of depth. We start with 1 point, because it's the most simple, right? In fine art, or in drawing, or in film, you know, it conveys a sense of drama. I will post a couple images of what I'm talking about. So when you're drawing from life, rarely are things going to be in a 1 point perspective, okay? If I'm looking down a long corridor, like the hallway out here, that's going to be 1 point perspective. If I'm standing in the middle of the road that's going completely straight, and I'm drawing that, 1 point perspective. Most things you're going to draw a 2 point perspective, and that'll be the next lesson. So let's draw some cubes for my drawing. So that same cube, just like this, right on the horizon line. Just like I said, you see one side, okay? Now, the rules we're going to be using for this drawing is all your lines have to be parallel, all your horizontal lines have to be parallel with the horizon line, okay? So if I draw a box over here, these have to be running parallel to each other. We're also going to start our drawings, our cubes, by drawing the face first. That means the first thing that we see, the closest thing to us, if this was an imaginary thing. So the closest thing to us in this case It's always going to be this side, okay? Excuse me, let me get back on point. So all these lines have to be going parallel to the horizon line. All these lines need to be going parallel to the edge of the paper, straight up and down. Okay, straight up and down. Now the way that we get our corners, the other corners for the cubes, is we connect those to this dot. So I'm going to draw a thin line, and I'm going to connect this corner to this dot. Then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to connect this corner. And we need to connect all three corners. All right. See how it has that, it's coming at you kind of look to it already, because it's, it's appearing like it's a three-dimensional in space. So it's up to me to decide, and it's up to you to decide, since this is an imaginary landscape of cubes, where do I decide what's the end of this cube and where's the side? So I can I'll pick this area. Remember, this has to be parallel. These all have to be parallel. And then all your lines need to be straight up and down. So since this makes that corner, I'm going to take this line straight down. So now I have a box in 1 point perspective. All right, so now let me put maybe a different shape cube up here. Maybe this time I'll do it, maybe I'll say it's a skinny box, like this. I'll step back a little bit from my drawing, make sure it's level, parallel, it's straight, so it's not, tilting one way or the other. And I'm going to connect these corners. Now since this is closer to this, I'm just going to see just a little piece of the side here. Connect those. Connect all three corners. Work on drawing really light, okay? Because I do want to be able to erase these marks, and I haven't committed to these lines yet, so make sure you're drawing really light. So let's say I'll put the bottom here. That gives me this corner. This goes straight up. Now I have this long skinny box kind of, flying out from that 1 point perspective. That vanishing point. Vanishing point. Vanishing point. And this is my eye level. All right, so let's say I'm going to draw a box now that sits on the eye level off to the side. So part of it is above the eye level and part of it's below the eye level. So let's say this will be a long, skinny box like this. Okay, so all the lines, they're all going to converge at the vanishing point from the corners. So all the lines from the corners of this square converge at the vanishing point. All these corners converge at the vanishing point. Now that this is above and below, these need to converge at the vanishing point. So they're going to come down like this. So I'm going to draw from this line here, this corner, and this corner. Right? Then I can decide where I want this to end. So this is like a little monolith, little block, sitting on the horizon. Okay? All right. Now, let's say I'll put a different shape block down here at the bottom. Let's do like a little, I don't know, let's do like Let's do like a little L shape. All right. So now this is a more complicated, not very much more complicated shape than, you know, a cube square. But the same rules apply. I got to connect all my corners to the vanishing point. All the lines are going to converge. So this time they're going to converge up because this is below the eye level. So I'm going to go from this corner, even though you're barely going to see any of this little one side here. Go from here. Here. Here, right? So again, same rules apply. If I make a mark, if I say, okay, I want it to go back maybe this far, that's a decision that I made, and I got to make everything else conform to that decision. So these lines, they just go straight up. These lines go horizontal. So now this is like a little couch. So I want you to, so we're just drawing cubes, but these cubes can represent, like I said, like a block wall. This could be a couch. Maybe this is the TV. It's one of those old school bubble TVs. Right? Okay. So we're going to keep putting cubes, blocks, into this space. Now let's say I have some of them overlap. At any time I can put a block that covers up one of these, and I just have to erase. So let's say, I don't know, I'm going to put another floating cube here. Now, I just got to draw the face of that block. Right? So that's that front face. I'm going to connect those. These other corners, I can't quite get to those because you're not going to see them. So you're really just going to see the front and the top. So then I would come in now. Erase this. And now it looks like there's just another hovering cube sitting in front of my couch, blocking my TV. So this is where I want you to be by the end of class. You know, you're starting to put the framework for this imaginary landscape in place. You're drawing really light. You are you're keeping everything really, really light. Make sure all your vertical lines are straight up and down. Make sure all your horizontal lines are even. So if I go over here and I look at this, it's even with this, and it's even with the horizon. What else do I want you to do? I want you to work to fill up the space through class. Also, blocks can go off the page. So I could have a part of a cube coming off to the side like this. Just like that. So we can have blocks going all the way out like they're breaking through past the picture plane and going on infinitely. You got a little bit of a framework. Okay, thank you.